Greetings, gamers! Welcome to another awesome episode of Red Steel Gaming Presents. And today we are presenting Star Trek Star Realms.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I'm your Primarch, Dan from Red Steel Gaming in Mattawa, New Jersey. Today I am here as always with my buddy Sal
Make it so.
and my buddy Christopher.
Hello there.
Make it so. A little Picard reference. Considering we're playing Star Realms, it's very
Very fitting.
very
as
apropos.
much Star Trek,
Get all the Star
Innuendo.
Trek in that you can.
Get all, especially for me personally, because Star Trek, as some of you may know, I would choose Star Trek over Star Wars.
We won't hold that against you.
Blasphemy.
I know it's blasphemy, but
That's right. It's
You're-
different.
You're flanked by the Imperials today.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
yeah.
It's all the more reason to say that. All right. But Star Trek Star Realms is a reskin of the original game, which is called Star Realms.
Star Realm.
So they spent a little money, bought an IP,
Just a little bit.
slapped it on. It is essentially 97% the same game, other than all the attachments that are in Star Realms. I guess, Chris, maybe you want to give us a little explanation of like Star Realms, and then we can
Sure.
say the differences.
All right, so Star Realms or Star Trek Star Realms are what they call deck building games. A deck building game traditionally is going to be one where you start off with a very poor starting deck, meaning that you have very poor or very weak units. You have very, very poor or weak cards that provide you resources. In the center of the table for everybody to purchase from is a purchasing pool that you can then use your cards to upgrade your deck. You reshuffle your cards in, and eventually over time your deck builds, where the name comes from. You get stronger and stronger and stronger, and each deck builder has a different win condition. In this one, just so happens the Star Realms uses authority. You start off with a certain amount of authority, which I believe in this game was 50, and you're trying to whittle down your opponents slowly but surely as you get closer. And whoever is the first one to whittle down their opponents completely is the winner of Star Realms. This one specifically has a mechanic where you have synergies. So there are 4 factions in Star Realms Star Trek, or 4 factions in regular Star Realms. And if you have cards of the same color or same faction, you sometimes get some additive bonuses. If I play 2 Dominion ships, I'm going to get an additive bonus because I did so. And the same thing is true for all the other factions.
And speaking of factions, there are the 4 in this particular game are the Federation, of course.
As it
We
should be.
have the Klingons. We have the Romulan Empire. And we
Indeed.
have the Dominion,
The Dominion.
which is fantastic because it's really the first game I've seen other than, what's the other? Ascendancy has the
Yeah.
Dominion in it as well as the
Get
first.
that- get
And
that-
the brand new minis game also has the Dominion in it.
Oh,
Right? That's
correct.
the starter.
Yeah, that's the starter.
Get
So-
that Ketracel white
Get
going.
that catcher. Little Wayun action.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my favorite. Gameplay's quick. Gameplay's fast. Maybe about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you
as soon
can
as
probably
you
finish
know
game?
as soon as you know the cards, you can bang this out in under half an hour,
Yeah.
and it's good enough and deep enough that you're going to play a second time and a third time
Yeah.
and a fourth time, and then you're going to realize, oh, we've been playing this for as long as we would have played a game of Warhammer.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so you could even do like a first to 2 wins if you wanted to.
And another thing I'll say about this, for those of you who have game groups or for those of you who do things, it's a great filler game. It's a really small footprint, and we're gonna play Twilight Imperium this weekend. We're waiting for Sal to get here because he's running behind. Let's play Star Trek Star Realms just to kind of wet our whistle, get our gaming in before we get to the main event. And you can do that with any main event game, like a minis game or a large board game. This becomes a nice little filler.
So did you just promise me a date where we start with Star Trek Star Realms and then proceed into
Go into Ascendancy?
You mean in between Ascendancy rounds we have to play this game? 'Cause that's how long Ascendancy takes?
The only one who might be upset is Waylon because he prefers the Ferengi. Apparently,
He does, yeah. But you know what? The scout cards are Ferengi cards.
That's
so
right.
you're
All right,
good.
so you got a little something.
They are.
Everybody gets their chocolate and vanilla too.
Yeah, there you go. So, but as a Trek fan, it's great. The art is it's clips mostly straight from the show, so all the ships have a nice appearance. There is across multiple timelines. There's some stuff from Wrath of Khan and Reliant is actually there.
Yeah.
We have the Enterprise D, of course.
Yeah, the old Klingon battle cruisers.
The old Klingon battle cruisers, the newer ships.
Then you have all the Jem'Hadar ships. So.
all the new Jem'Hadar Birds of Prey from the Klingons.
Which is
as well.
technically DS9 kind of era because all these are kind of like the
Yeah.
DS9 wars. They were all there during DS9.
I don't recognize anything from Enterprise or
No.
or any of our
No,
Voyager.
not
I didn't see
every show.
Voyager in
No.
there. I didn't see anything like past that, but it's definitely generation, like Star Trek, the Next Generation.
Yeah.
And but and back. Or I guess
And
DS9 is
DS9
a little bit after
because,
that too, right?
because of the Dominion.
Yeah. And the Dominion War, all those ships, the Federation's losing how many ships? So you're gonna get the older models, the Constitution classes start showing up. So it has that flavor. It's super fun.
The Defiant is in there as well, which is great. That's probably one of my favorite ships. So, other than that, it plays mean, it plays fast.
Yeah, we're gonna play a game so we could try it out and see what we thought.
That's the best part about doing these podcasts. We get to play a game.
Yes, let's go.
Who knew that was going to happen?
Who knew? It's brilliant. So we're gonna clash in space and let you know who comes out the victor and how it played out. So stay tuned and we'll play at warp speed.
Oh,
fly it apart then.
Easy, Sulu. And we're back. And as you can see from my tone, the Federation has fallen.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had a great time playing this game. This is fantastic.
Yeah. It was tough at the beginning. I'll say that, getting the flow for me. I never played this.
Man, I had a great deck. Everything was Federation. I had 90% of the deck is Federation, which is hard to do, especially with multiple players and the shopping list and the blocking and buying the hate drafting to whatever. I was healing away, but the Romulans came in hard.
The logic and efficiency of the Romulans just sort of took it away.
Sure.
So I know we talked about the game a little bit before, but to give you an idea, each of the factions, of which there are 4 in this game, they usually have something that they excel at. So for instance, the Federation are really good at healers. They take a lot of damage, but they have a lot of healing. There were certain rounds where you were healing like 4 or 5.
4 to 7, yeah.
Sal had a deck that was mostly Klingons. Mm-hmm. And you were pumping out all kinds of damage.
Yeah.
The Klingons are really good at pumping out the damage.
And,
well, what happened was his damage, I'm healing it. Yeah. So he's slowly dying. I'm pretty much staying stationary.
Maintaining.
I'm maintaining, and you just kept pounding and pounding.
The synergy there was
the one thing about the healing is that he's not attacked. He doesn't do as much damage because he's healing.
It's very
and then the Romulans, they're kind of like the best of 2 worlds. They draw a lot of cards, which in any kind of card game, Magic or a deck builder, drawing cards is king. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, because I had a lot of green Romulan cards, the synergy that we talked about in the opening, they work really well together, and I'm not only drawing cards, but I'm getting massive amounts of damage. I'm pumping out as much damage to the Klingons while also drawing cards. So
you put out like half of somebody's life in one shot.
Well, the last turn of the game, I remember I took Sal out, and then I spilt over and was able to fill into you, which brings us a little bit to like this game. One of the things that I love about it is that you can play it in multiple ways. So the way that we played was attack to the left. I could attack. Sal was on my left. He was my only target. I never had to choose. It was just, Sal, you're taking this much. And then Sal had Dan on his left, and he was able to it was basically a counterclockwise rotation of who was taking the damage. The box, you can actually play in multiple different variations, no matter how you want. You can do free-for-all. You can do one-on-one. You can do what they call Warlord, where you have one person sitting in the middle of 2 flankers. And then the 2 flankers have to die first. You can't attack the king, you can't attack the warlord until one of the flanks has fallen.
Interesting.
And then when it comes to attacking your opposite, the flanks can attack only the people that are in front of, which makes it interesting. So there's a lot of variation in the box, which you can get multiple replays out of.
And that's what I like about it, too. It's the simplicity of the onboarding. Like, what cards do I pick? I mean, you're already too focused on shopping, right, for your cards and getting the synergy flowing. So you don't have to think. Right, just do max effort every turn. Max effort left. Maybe build some bases to worry about what's coming in, but that's just it's a lot simpler. So you could focus on your synergy in your deck.
There's that RNG too of like what resources and what's available in the shopping at the time. Dictates what you are drafting or taking out of the shop. So like, I had some Klingons, but when there wasn't Klingons, I had to dip into some Jem'Hadar cards that the synergy was less, but they did do damage and do some things, but now you're out of your usually 2 colors. I feel like you're always in like a 2-color threshold because the old 1 color is really hard because it's not always there.
Playing regular Star Realms for as many years as I did, you usually wind up with 2 colors. If you try to focus the one, you usually wind up just too deficient in another category. Case in point, he was we basically all went 1 color, and that card draw just did us in. You just got too much efficiency with the card draw. I had some damage, but it was light. and the healing was good because it was countering one person, but it wasn't going to be able to deal with you when it came time to deal with the Romulan threats.
Yeah, the Romulan threat was too much. The neutral zone is mine.
No, I thought Cisco made a nice deal with them. So I don't know.
I guess not. They got the
Chris
cloaking
hasn't watched-
devices and they
Chris-
ran.
I
Chris
have no
hasn't
idea
watched-
about that, so I'm
Chris
not.
hasn't
I'm not.
watched that episode.
I'm not holding to that treaty. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I'm as an avid Star Trek fan, Sal and I watched a lot together. We used to actually back in the day when DS9 was on, the phone call after every episode would happen.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Holy crap! Blah blah blah. blah. Chris is a little behind the curve, so he's been.
We're catching up. Don't worry.
Catching
Yeah,
up. on
I'm,
DS9.
I'm chewing through DS9 now with these two. I've done all the original. I've done all of Generations. I'm getting there.
You're getting
I'm
there.
not as deep in the lore as you guys
Yeah.
are, but I'm getting there, and I enjoy it. I think it's a great. It's very deep.
And it's
And-
good having games to explore. I mean, because what we're really all about is we want to immerse ourselves in the IPs that we like. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really why we play and pick the games we play. It's like there's probably really great games out there, but they don't have the IP skin that it draws us in. So
Yeah.
this is just one of those games.
And
And this is what happened.
This is one of those times where we were at the table and the Enterprise D shows up, and it is an expensive card, but all of us were like, "Oh, the Enterprise!" And it's like you saw the Next Generation ship was there. Dan actually eventually bought it.
I made it so.
It was
Gotta go.
he had enough to get it out there. I think you only played it like once or
I played
twice.
it once,
But that's how deck builders go. By the time you can afford those really expensive ships that can really change the game is getting close to the end. So it's sometimes those mid-range 3, 4, 5 cost ships are a little stronger.
you can only knows you can have a lot of fun in a little time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a
20 to
very
30 minutes.
that box actually is relatively it's very adequately priced. It's $29.99. It's 4-player game. And the way that Star Realms works is if you have more than 4, you can actually just combine and buy another box.
That's kind of cool. So
You
you can
can-
expand it.
You can play 12 players, 16 players if you want. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you have a group of 5 or 6, a second box gets you enough cards to play exactly the way that you would to cater to whatever group size that you have.
And here's the hoping. I mean, compared to Star Realms, actually there are more factions in Star Trek than there in the original Star Realms. So we have more to add here.
Yep. And then Star Realms has also brought in things like leaders.
Mhm.
You could absolutely print cards that are captain based. You can print a Cisco or a Jean-Luc Picard or a Garrick. Could
Yeah.
be a leader that you
Oh,
could get,
Garrick.
and they could be
Just
stuff like that.
plain character.
That'd be cool.
Right? All
Give me
those-
my Cardassians.
right? Gold Ducat.
Oh, Gold Ducat.
come on.
I mean, come on.
You get a Gold Ducat in there on the ship?
I hope he's got all his quips, his little Gold Ducat,
His little
like,
Gold
you know,
Ducat crypts.
on
Yeah.
the cards.
Definitely watch his Twitter feed if you're not watching.
I know,
the Gold
I'm
Ducat.
definitely-
It's
I'm signed
hysterical.
up.
It's hysterical. So.
Yeah, it was super fun. Definitely want to play it again.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was your first time, right? So
First time
first time out of the box. What was your impression? Like,
I
you-
really I like the way we played it. I like the attack to the left. There was less brain function to be like, okay, I know where all my cards are going. I really don't have to worry. And now it's just me worrying about what am I
What are
am
you
I
building?
What am I building? What am I what am I paying for resources? Do I have enough resources? And then it's also knowing what to discard. Like, a lot of times you're getting rid of your weaker cards, and it's like, there's some timing issues there. You could be like, oh, I shouldn't have got rid of that, or maybe I should have kept that. But aside from that, it's really you're beholden to what's in the shop when you can buy it, and then are you buying the stuff that has the synergy there? So I loved it, and one of the reasons why I never played regular Star Realms was because it's just a normal sci-fi
Vanilla.
skin, game. And once again, you guys loved it, but it's just not a draw for me. So this was like, oh, okay, it's that mechanic. You guys love it, but it's Star Trek. Sure,
Well,
I'm
Star
in.
Trek will help. It'll help you understand, like, oh, the Klingons are doing this. All right, that's what they're supposed
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. And it's my brain narrative. Like my brain needs story in things that don't have story. It's in my brain. I'm thinking like, oh, I remember that from this
And-
episode. And these are
you won't
this-
play chess, but you'll play Jajaric. It's like
pretty much. Yeah, I mean,
or
it's
3D chess.
Yeah,
But
3D
3D
chat.
yeah.
That's like, oh my god! I used to see Leonard Nimoy just like putting those things. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
what is going on? Like that's just
But the good thing is you picked up the mechanics relatively quickly, especially because of the ease with which you play. Like, so
Yes,
you didn't have
yeah.
to think. You go like, all right, this is how this is working.
Yeah.
All right, that's how Romulans are working. That's so in one game, I'd say you probably got like a good 70 to 80% of how to play the game.
yeah, and
well.
to know, kind of see. I
Yeah.
maybe didn't see every card, but
Mhm.
that's the fun of it. Next
Yeah.
round, next time, it's like, oh, I didn't see all these
Oh, that's a new
Jem'Hadar
one.
cards.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so
it's very much like Waterdeep in that fashion, where it's easy to learn,
Mhm.
easy to pick up. Pretty much anybody can understand how to play it, but there's depth to it. Like the second time you play, you're going to see cards you didn't see, you're going to see strategies you didn't see, and it's going to kind of build and build and build. And because it's a quick game, you can play 2, 3, 4 times in a night
In a
and
night,
not waste your entire night either. You
Set
can just
up-
do it in a very quick
Yeah.
little
Set up
little
and breakdown
hour.
nominal too.
And plus for this, you look at it, it's the footprint. Like some games are like Ascendancy. I love Ascendancy. I like the idea. We've played it, but like
You got to play it on this table.
yeah,
Like
and
that's-
it's
Because
like
it becomes it's funny too because when it starts, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Setting up Ascendancy
No.
is fine. It's putting it away
Yeah.
when you're done.
yeah. There's
Because
the
whole
plus minus
table
yeah.
fills up.
It's
you know.
it's so like this footprint. You could throw this in a backpack and play this in Disney or like on a road trip.
Yeah, it's a
or-
road trip game.
You know what I mean? Like you can
Bringing
play
the
that
packs
anywhere. So
unplugged.
that's a part of finding a game that you like has there's a bunch of checklists. That's a nice portable
Mhm.
is and I'm sure you can bling it out. I'm sure there's like a
Don't get me started.
there's a
Well, there
a
really is a-
neoprene mat you could put instead
You
of the
probably
paper
could get a
one.
neoprene
mat,
mat,
yeah.
yeah. But
That's
there's
really-
no really else to bling out there. It's just the
No.
cards.
Skins.
You
I
put-
mean, sleeves. If you
sleeves.
want to
You
get
get
some kind of
sleeves
cool
of the cards.
super hot sleeves.
And for those of you who maybe aren't, I mean, we are at the table are into Star Trek. If you're not into Star Trek, Star Realms is the same exact game, and it's like Sal said,
Yeah.
it's a generic fantasy version. And I actually forgot this just until now. There's actually a fantasy version called Hero Realms,
Hero Realms. yeah.
Yes.
where instead of drafting ships, you're drafting heroes in a medieval kind of fantasy realm. That is also it's got a couple of different tweaks, but everything else about it is
It's
exactly the same.
essentially the
Straight
same
up.
game. Yeah.
Well,
White Wizard Games made a really good product, and have beat it enough, and they keep reskinning it, but it's worth it. It's really good.
like a dead horse.
Yeah.
but look, I mean, it got me to play their game. Like
Yeah, no, it works.
you got me in the
And I mean, it's
got me in the airlock, baby.
Yeah,
You know?
it's chocolate and peanut butter too.
Yeah.
I was really easy to say. Oh, you know what? It's already just a reskin of a game, and it works
It works.
perfectly.
Yep.
So.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Anything else? Any other commentary on the game?
No, I
No.
think that's it.
We have it
Is
in
that-
the store, which is cool.
we had.
Yeah, there's
I'm-
copies in stock.
and
Unlike
I'm hoping
Waterdeep,
for
there's
more.
copies
Yeah.
copies in stock.
I will apologize for the Waterdeep. As much as we love the game, it's that fear. We've mentioned in the podcast about the fear.
Yeah.
Well, we won't go there.
Yeah. We won't
Fear
go
will
there.
keep the
But
system in line.
Fears will keep the system. Well, we hope to get it again soon, but the 2 copies we had instantly sold.
Yes.
Because of our freaking podcast. But again, it's a good problem to have. Hopefully, we'll have more readily available. If you're local and you want to come and play, either
join.
this or come play Star Realms,
Yep.
Yeah.
or come play
Or
Lords of
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
If you're like, oh, you guys talked Waterdeep up, we're gonna
Yeah.
play it. I mean, come to the store. We could always give you a run through.
Thanks for joining us as always. Check out Star Trek Star Realms. It's a good play. It's quick. It's fast. It's fun. I think you'll enjoy it. So, as always, thanks for joining us, and never stop gaming.
Have a good one.